Alright, so the Avengers is almost here. I'm so excited. Alright, so today, Iron Man 2. Now, Iron Man 2, going into it, very excited. Obviously, the trailers were awesome. You know, sequel to Iron Man. I thought they could not fall. How could you go wrong? Same director, same stars. Well, except for, you know, Don Cheadle, Terrence Hatter. And I personally find it a very disappointing movie. It's not a bad movie, and I'm happy that it was still good, because it could have been just awful. The main problem is, like, the Spider-Man 3 complex, where you try, and it's not even the trilogy maker yet, the third one, so that's usually where it goes wrong. So, here's the second one, and they're already trying to juggle too much. And some of the storylines could have been thrown out. Some of them just are completely unnecessary. Like the blood poisoning type thing with Tony Stark. I don't think that's what it's called, but, you know, that type thing. Well, it was totally unnecessary. It was supposed to give an extra feel of, you know, intimate danger, but I just didn't, you know, they have the Avengers, and you know this isn't going to be the thing that kills them. It would have been fine if they didn't have so many other things going on. Like, you have Justin Hammer, I mean, you have Mickey Rourke as Whiplash, and then you have the Avengers tie-in, and then you have, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow being, you know, the new CEO. There's just so much going on in this movie that it would have felt great to see these things pulled into fruition, but they don't get a chance, and most of the things just come to naught because the movie has so much going on. And the other problem with it, because if it was like that, and without this next problem, the fact that it's just goofy all the time. Now, Iron Man, the first one, it was more lighthearted, it was fun, it was funny almost all the time. There was always something funny going on. But here, it's like they're trying to make jokes, but at the same time things are over the top, and you're not sure, you know, if it's a dangerous action, you know, situation. When there's action going on, there shouldn't be these ridiculous moments. It ruined a lot of good scenes. I realized how little actually happens in the movie, with so much setup and so many things happening. I mean, Whiplash, really, nothing becomes of him. I mean, you have the racetrack scene and then the end, and I feel like the climax was really, was not as cool as if it should have been. There's a lot of setup, no real build-up, and then no payoff. The party scene, where he gets drunk and, you know, is fighting, you know, Rhodes, Don Cheadle's Rhodes in the Iron Man suit, and just so many things are completely illogical. Like, there are probably a whole bunch of things that were illogical, or just were really dumb in the first Iron Man, but because it's not shoving it in your face, it's not as obnoxious. Like in Iron Man 2, everything is just so ridiculous, and you're like, like at the party thing, that's just not gonna happen. And you know what? Oh, he's in the suit 5 seconds, or, you know, Rhodes is in the suit 5 seconds, and he already knows what to do, and just everything is so dumb. And then, you know, Tony pisses himself or craps himself in the Iron Man suit. And it's really sad, because I mean, if you took them out and you developed a couple other things, I mean, it could have been almost as good as the first Iron Man, because it definitely had all that potential, and the setup was there for just this epic movie. And it's still a very, very fun movie that is extremely entertaining. And there are times in this movie where, while even if the things don't fully, you know, are just at that precipice, it's still so amazing. Like the scene where, you know, he's backtracing his father's past and figuring out these things, and while it doesn't, you know, make a lot of sense at times, it was so, the way it's told is very, very well done. Just the, you know, the main storyline, overall, because Sam Rockwell is, you know, I think he's pretty good, and it was definitely an interesting route to go, and they had the Stark Expo, and all those little things were great parts of the movie, these great components that the same thing, or not necessarily the same thing, but a lot of what happened in Captain America is you have these great components that really just don't mesh together, because in this case there's too much going on, and it's goofy. It's still fun. It's a good time movie. It was a good way to open up summer 2010. And yeah, it was still slightly disappointing, and basically because of how awesome the first Iron Man was. And they just didn't have that balance. There's just something so impeccably suave and cool about the first Iron Man that this one just doesn't tap in on. But I still like it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a good movie. Tell me your thoughts on Iron Man 2 below. Get ready for the Avengers.